Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I am Penge, and I am here in the Geek Cupboard with Dave from Wee Hours Games. Dave is right there, and I've just poked him on the arm. I've poked Dave on the arm.
He's poked me on the arm.
And so Dave is here in the Geek Cupboard. The day has finally arrived. So, Dave.
Yes, Penge.
You are here.
Who is here in the same space?
Yes, I was going to say, so you're now here in the Geek Cupboard itself.
I am in the Geek Cupboard.
Your thoughts?
Okay. I'm going to say this about that. It is larger than I anticipated, but you ain't wrong. It's real small in here, especially when you put two grown adult men in here and close the door.
There's not a lot of room for two. One person, it's all right with one.
Okay, it's all right with one.
Two is pushing it. With a child in it, it's all right, but with two grown people.
When the door was open, it seemed bigger. But now it's just sort of two guys in a room and it's getting sweaty, is all I'm saying.
I mean, the window is open.
The window's open.
With a screen.
Yeah, with screen window. Okay.
Screen.
Hold that thought. The only British person to have a screen window, because you know what's not in this room? Bugs.
No, none of them.
Not one.
No.
Not
and I built that. I had to build the screen. I think we talked about this before, but I built the screen.
We have. You've talked about it. It was a custom screen installed by yourself. And you know what there is not in this room? A single fly.
And it was proven the other night that Dave was correct, because as I was recording, and I said this to Dave earlier, there was a moth fluttering about outside on the other side of the screen.
And Penge, let me ask you, where was the moth?
It was on the outside.
The outside.
And then it went away.
It went away.
Because it couldn't get in.
Can't get in. You know why? Screen window. What's up?
So you can't see it, obviously. There's the screen. I'm pointing at the screen for no reason.
I assure you he's pointing at the screen. I will verify. In fact, now I'm pointing at the screen.
We're
all pointing at the screen right now. Yeah. And we really did too. We love our screens.
Actually
really did. Like you'd know if we pointed at the screen, but we genuinely pointed at the screen. We're insane like that.
But yeah, so David's here and we've had
all sorts of things.
All sorts of things going on.
Yeah, we played video games in a museum yesterday, and then we walked like 157 miles around London.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of walking.
We ate a lot of food.
Yes. It's good. Good food.
We started with food, and then we ended with food, and in the middle there was food.
Yes.
And then
supplemented by some snacks.
Snacks and coffees and drinks, and you had tea, but
I had tea. I had a nice Earl Grey. It was good Earl Grey in that.
Yeah. We didn't hold it against
tea place.
Yeah.
No.
and
nice Earl Grey.
And Mrs. Penge has met Mrs. Dave.
Yes.
They're actually downstairs right now chit-chatting.
Having a chat, hopefully.
Hopefully having a chat. I don't know if there'll be bloodshed when we come down. I can't verify that.
Don't know.
But we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out when we crack open the doors of the Geek Cupboard. And now the next day, I'm here. I'm actually inside the Geek Cupboard. Like, for real. Not just video inside the Geek Cupboard. That's a different thing.
There's physically inside the room itself.
Physically inside the room. I am within striking distance of the man himself, and I mean that I could knock him out right now. I could knock him out very easily.
You probably could.
Yeah,
I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, no, we're like about 4 inches away from each other because that's all this room can hold right now.
It's not overly grand.
So, Penge, let me ask you, you've had an American, me,
yes.
A wonderful American, for the last 36 hours. I want. Here's what I want to verify. I know we talked about this before we started recording, but I think it's important that our audience knows this.
Yes.
I am occasionally accused of putting on a persona, an act, a character. You've spent 36 hours with me, Penge. Is this a persona?
I can confirm it is not a persona. And to people that say, "Oh, it's all an act and put on," it's like what they call like a sort of a stage
character,
like a stage voice type thing. No. It is what I said earlier. What you see is what you hear is what you get.
Yeah, I am like this all the time.
There's been tangents.
There's been tangents.
The Dave button has been pressed
several times,
a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
I think that's the good and proper. If I'd have gone, right, it's Dave, and you'd have gone, hey. And I go, you all right, Dave? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you having a coffee? I would have been like, what's this?
No.
That's not Dave. And I would have had to go, bring the real Dave in, please.
No, that's not what you signed up for.
That's
not what you signed up for. And I would have been equally as nonplussed if you had not turned up. If you had turned up and been like Rook to Aggro or something. If you'd been like, yeah, let's go. Come on, Dave. We're going to the gym. That just would not have. I would have been shattered. My hopes and dreams would have been. Like, we're gonna go get drunk and punch people.
Yeah.
That would just
Larry.
No, actually, we sat down and you had tea and you were very lovely.
A tea and a crepe.
And a crepe. Yeah, the crepe happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were perfectly lovely, and you've been perfectly lovely, and so is Mrs. Penge for the last 36 hours, and we've had lovely lunches.
It's been very good.
They've treated us exceptionally well. Their generosity and hospitality is without question wonderful. I will say that. Not that any of you else will be likely to get this opportunity. Just me.
Yes, we did. There was a terrifying moment of sort of planning where obviously we need to get Dave and Mrs. Dave up here to Northampton, and we thought, you know, we're gonna actually buy some train tickets early, not sort of on the day in a rush, kind of, the train's in 2 minutes, we need tickets, rushing about. We did it in an early way, and it was planned, which was, we don't normally do that.
You also planned breakfast. You planned many things.
We did plan breakfast.
You planned breakfast.
That was more because it was like a bank holiday, and we thought no one would be open, or like it'll be rammed. Although to be fair, it probably would have been alright, but
it would have been fine. But no, it's a good thing you planned, because it may surprise our viewers to know that I don't plan anything. I just sort of roll with things and hope for the best. So if we'd been in charge of breakfast would have been, I don't know, like a Coke from a convenience store or something. Vending machine, and I don't know, a bag of crisps or something. So it's probably
crisps.
I said it because I know, many of your viewers are also British, so I try to speak their language.
Chips.
Chips and I was
snacks.
corrected actually in a restaurant our first night here. I was corrected by the waitress because I wanted to blend in. I didn't want to appear as the obnoxious American that I am. So I wanted to blend in. Nice. So I asked for chips with my burger, and she had to say, "Do you actually want chips or do you want fries?" Those are two different things. And she educated me on the difference between chips and fries. I'm just glad you have fries, because finally things can get happening around here.
There is a difference. I think if you had fish and chips, you would expect different potato-based goods to if you had fish and fries would be weird.
I was informed that chips are more wedge-like.
Yes.
And fries
chunkier.
Are thinner. And perhaps a little crispier.
Yes, because they're fried. They're thinner, so they fry more, don't
yes. And the bit that shocks me is somebody at home is going, they're talking about chips versus fries, and I'm enthralled by this.
This is what you signed up
for. This is what
to.
you signed up for.
You know what?
You knew what you were getting into.
I'm clicking on that. I'm clicking on that thumbnail.
Oh, we can make it a chip versus fry thumbnail. That'll drag in the viewers.
That might.
It might actually. That might be onto a stroke of genius there. So we are leaving. We're leaving Penge and Mrs. Penge a little later, and Mrs. Dave and I go off and do our thing. But I have again. We've spent about 36 hours together. Not the sleeping part. Like we didn't sleep in the same room. We went to different hotels.
Yes.
Because that's weird.
We had a terrible hotel. We did
hotels. Too. Thank you. We both had terrible hotels, and we both went to separate terrible hotels to sleep in. So I just want to be very clear about that. So about 36 hours, and I have had the time of my life hanging out with Penge. And hopefully he had a good time too.
Yes,
so,
it's been brilliant.
Good. And I know many of you are watching this going, who cares? And
who is Dave? Who is Penge?
Many of you are watching this going, oh my God, this is brilliant. This was described, bring this whole thing full circle. This was described, you and I have been described by one of our viewers as, and I'm quoting here, the most wholesome friendship on the internet. And I've loved that phrase.
I like that.
I've loved that. We have known each other for, I believe, about 7 years.
Yes, I think 7 years.
Roughly
right?
7 years, yep. And we have never met in our life prior to yesterday. And it's been everything I wanted it to be. Absolutely. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. It's been a wonderful couple of days. I hope we get to do this again in the future. But if we don't, this was well worth it.
At least it did happen.
It happened, and it was worth every second of it.
It's been good. It's been sort of, we kind of made a bit of a conscious effort not to plan everything. So we went, right, breakfast. We had a thing at the museum, and then it was kind of a bit, then we'll just see what happens. And I think that worked, rather than being like, right, we've got to rush to here, and rush to here, and rush to here.
No.
Because anyone who watches our stuff knows that we're not very good at that.
No, we're not very good at that.
That wouldn't work.
No. And we got to spend the whole day just basically chit-chatting.
Yeah. Chit-chatting, bit of food, go there, get a drink, do some more waffling on.
This is the first time our conversation has not been limited by texting. By thinking like,
Yes,
okay,
normally
I have to
yeah.
break this conversation down into short sentences. No, we can just speak for hours.
Just go on and on.
And on and on and on.
Good at that.
Oh, we were excellent at that.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a lot of eye rolling by Mrs. Penge and Mrs. Dave. Much eye rolling happened.
Yeah, there has been an unfortunate circumstance that Dave here has had to endure some... What do you call it? You couldn't know. Instant coffee.
Instant coffee. Okay, so...
For which I apologised many times.
You should apologise many times. It's awful.
It's, we haven't got a coffee machine.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Joe, when would this have been? 3 years ago? We did have, I don't know if you had the Metasimo machine.
What is that
Do
one?
you know what it is? So it's a pod. So you get a coffee pod and you put a pod in and then it makes noises and then it puts the coffee drink out.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of those and then it went wrong. So we had to get rid of it. It just broke.
Yeah.
It didn't work. But you could have had that if it hadn't have exploded.
It's
You've got the.
I've got what I got.
Instant coffee.
I've got what I got. I knew this was happening. I signed up for this. You told me in advance, hey, I only got instant coffee, dude. You didn't actually say dude. But said, you made it clear, I've only got instant coffee. And I said, no, okay. And maybe some small portion of my mind was thought you might fix that, but you didn't. And then the larger portion of my mind said, no, I'm going to drink instant coffee. Whatever. Yeah. It's coffee at the end of the day.
I mean, on a scale of 0 to this is terrible, what's the...
Okay, so on that... Wow, that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked that. Okay, so that's a big scale. So at the top of the scale is the coffee shop across the street from my house, because that coffee is outstanding. It is so good. At the bottom of the list is 3-day-old gas station coffee that's cold. Okay, that's your scale.
Cold?
Right. Cold.
Oh.
This is a 2 on that scale. All right, this is a 2.
Okay.
All right, so I've had worse is what I'm saying. I've had worse and drank it and finished the cup. But it's not good, man. It's not good.
Just so you know, it's smooth. Is it smooth? It says smooth on the pot where it came out of. Is it smooth?
I mean, smooth in the sense it doesn't have chunks in it. Sure,
I filtered them out.
I don't know what smooth means.
I got rid of the coffee chunks.
I'll tell you what's smooth is the coffee shop across the street from my house. That stuff is outstanding. I love that.
One day, maybe some point in the future, I might be able to go there, and I'd even have a coffee.
It's very good coffee. It's exceptionally good coffee. You'd love it.
Like
I mean, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is coffee. I hate coffee.
A regular coffee? Or
just a regular coffee.
Oh, not like a special cappuccino.
No, just regular. Their regular coffee is outstanding. It's absolutely wonderful. So, to the viewers, I won't take up all of your time. I won't. I swear to God. But to the viewers who thought this would never happen, it has finally happened.
It did. It proved. Look, yeah.
Hey, look, you can't see us, but I assure you, we're kind of vaguely waving in each other's direction.
And then waving at
And then we're waving at you.
We're
not actually waving at you, because I'm waving at like a wave file that's happening right now, which in itself is kind of cool. It's kind of trippy. But to the viewers who thought this would never happen or thought, oh, somehow those plans will crash, we managed it.
Yeah, it all panned out.
We actually did it. 7 years down the road, the most wholesome friendship on the internet. We finally actually hung out in person.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, I loved every second of it. I loved absolutely every second of it.
I look forward to it. It's like building up and up.
I did too. I was getting all giddy about it. I'm like, ooh,
very exciting.
The phrase that we have tossed around for the last 36 hours is, "This is the most expensive play date in history."
Yeah.
My kudos to Mrs. Dave for basically financing this play date, because she put this together.
For flying 6 hours, is it?
Yeah. 6 hours, yeah, a little over 6 hours.
6 hours. Getting up at silly o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning.
And then making your way to an airport, and then doing all the tedious airport check-in and bags and security. And
security. All that
stuff that no one really enjoys.
No, 6 hours on the flight.
And then, of course, getting your bags and then making your way.
Do you know how big Heathrow Airport is?
I know.
Holy McMoly, man. It was as long as the flight. I swear to God, we walked 7 miles to get our bags.
Huge, really big.
And then make our way into London. And then there's jet lag. And then there's all of that. But we got here.
Yes.
We got here in the end, and it was worth every second of it. It was fantastic.
It's been brilliant.
It's been brilliant. So
yeah, I should say thank you to you for making coming here.
I'm
the
in the Geek Cupboard. I'm a little claustrophobic. I'm not going to lie. I feel the walls are closing in on me.
2 people is quite.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
These are grown men here. It's a little claustrophobic. But we got here in the end, and we did it, and we wanted to come in and first of all prove that this actually happened. Again, we are physically in the same space at the same time.
There were doubters.
There were doubters.
But
there were people saying, they're never going to put that
quashed.
together. Yeah, quashed is the word. Quashed. Thank you. That's a great Scrabble word, by the way. Awesome. It's great because you can link it
That'd
up
be
with
a
the
lot
S.
of points, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, because you want to use it with the S, and then you can get because somebody did a plural. So, they did I don't know.
Yeah, you can put it at the end. Yeah.
You can put it at the end, right? It's you can get that on a triple word. My greatest Scrabble score ever was juveniles across 2 triple word scores. 217 points in one shot. Thank you. Juveniles.
I don't think I've ever retained the knowledge of my best Scrabble.
I was
event.
so impressed I filed that one away.
I don't think I've ever got anything
one.
to that degree.
217 points.
Never got anything to that level.
Yep, game over at that point. So what was the point of that? How did we get to Scrabble?
I think I just...
Scrabble. Quash. It was quash. Yeah. That was
people weren't going to believe it was going to happen.
No. Well, that's been quashed.
Yes.
We did it. And just a little something out for you guys who embrace the most wholesome friendship on the internet. Because there's a few of you out here wow, that would be really cool if they ever hung out. Well, we have.
Yeah.
To the rest of you might not care, but for some of you, it's pretty good.
Yeah. You were thinking, wow, it actually did work out. And there they are.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
for encouraging us to do it all for everyone out there. Because, there were some people saying, please do it.
Yeah.
And it'd be brilliant.
And we are.
And thank you, Dave.
Thank
coming
you.
all the way here.
No,
It's a long trip.
It's a long trip, but honestly, thank you for your hospitality because you made a special trip to come down to London to see us, and you opened your doors to us. You brought us back here, and you opened your doors.
Come back again.
You fed us a very nice lunch, I might add. You gave me instant coffee, but I'm gonna weigh that against the positive. I'm gonna weigh that against the positives of the really good lunch. So, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. It actually happened.
Yeah,
it actually happened.
Kind of it, really, isn't it?
Kind of it.
It's done.
I don't have a good fade out on this. I usually do my outro, but I don't really need people to like and subscribe. I pretty much the only people watching this are people who are like and subscribe.
I was going to say the people that are watching this will already know, and they'll be probably. Well, do you know what? If you're listening to this and you're not, if you don't know Dave, Dave, then go over to. Can we do cards? Can we do multiple cards?
Oh, we can do cards all over the place.
Yeah,
we can do card crazy.
So if you're watching sort of on the Geek Cupboard channel, you don't know Dave's stuff. Then hopefully at some point, if we remember, which I don't always remember, but if I do remember, we'll put a card on to go and check out Dave's stuff. It'll be somewhere on the screen. I think they appear on the right.
Top right.
I think top right.
I'm pointing at the top right of this room right now.
So click on that card and go check out Dave's stuff. Because Dave's
and I will do the same on mine. If you're watching my channel and you don't know who the Geek Cupboard is, I don't know who you are because basically everyone who is on my channel knows the Geek Cupboard. But just on the off chance you're like the 2 guys who don't, I know I will put a card up there. I'll put a link down in the description. I will make it unavoidable for you to stumble across the Geek Cupboard in some way, shape, or form.
But yeah, I like you said, I don't know how do you wrap up such a thing?
How do you wrap up something when we're not doing a game? I was like, I don't know,
it's like a podcast, but what do you do is go, well,
what do podcast people do? Is this a podcast? Are we doing a podcast?
It's a bit like a podcast.
Do I have to recategorize this as a podcast? I can't really put this under gaming, can I?
Do we mention games? We mentioned it very early on.
There's a picture of Zelda on the wall. Zelda, that's a game.
There you go.
I've mentioned a game now.
And we did play some games in the
museum thing. Yeah, we did quite a few of those. Yep. So games. Yay!
There you go. It's games for episode.
All right.
Ticks that box.
Yep. All right, guys. We're going to get out of here because it's very claustrophobic in here.
We need to open the door.
Yeah, we really need to open the door, guys. We love you, but I got to get out of here. It's really tight in here.
I'm gonna let Dave out.
Let
him roam free.
Oh God. Thank you guys so much for putting up with this nonsense.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.